Let's head all the way to Nyeri County. Clement Masombo now joins us live. Clement, good morning. What's happening in Nyeri?
Good morning to you, Ashley. In Nyeri, there are no demos here, or the Saba Saba demos, as it expected. Of course, after the opposition leader Raila Odinga and other leaders called for Kenyans to turn out in large numbers, of course, to take part in those Saba Saba demonstrations over the alleged high cost of living, among other issues that they are claiming, or they are crying out from the national government, from the Kenya Kwanza administration. And this morning, I want to engage one gentleman who was there during the first Saba Saba, that is about 33 years ago in 1990. That is Wambogo Nyamu, who will be telling us. We want to find out if actually, as a region, as a Mount Kenya region, we have achieved whatever that we were pushing for. So thank you so much for joining us here on KTN News. You took part in the first demos in 1990, and as a region, what were some of the issues that you were calling for, and have we achieved them as a region?
Thanks, Clement. I recall very well, in 1990, we were fighting for freedom and for multi-party. Those were the days here in central Kenya, in Mount Kenya region. You could not even hold a family get-together without the consent of the chief and the dreaded Kanu youth wingers. And I remember in those days, you could not even sit in a hotel, more than 5 people in one table. There was a dreaded group called the Special Branch. They would ask you what you are discussing. You could not even do the two-finger salute. Remember, there were even some Barangetun you used to say, you do the two-finger salute to your cat. And it came after the Mlolongo elections of 1988, which is the first election I took part in. And the Mlolongo was just a farce. Literally, the smallest line would win the elections. And I remember it's after that we started now agitating for free and fair elections. We started agitating for multi-party, because those were the days of the dominance of Kanu one-party rule, and it was pure tyranny. And I also remember it's the time I left university. I remember before 1990, those who graduated in 1989, they used to get automatic jobs. So when I graduated from the university in 1990, we were the first group that never got automatic employment. So most of us went for menu jobs, and those were the days when graduates started going for menu jobs. We started going from Django jobs. We became hawkers. And I recall that time I was a hawker in Gekombak, the Pumwani area. And I remember the agitation now to do the Saba Saba came as a result of what happened in February 1990. After the death of Ouko, of course, the state was shaken because it was involved in death of Ouko. And before that, we never used to hold mandamanos. And because Moi wanted to cover himself up because of the death of Ouko, he allowed us to do mandamanos in February 1990. And I remember I led the demos from Egerton University to Nakuru town, 27 kilometers, demonstrating against the murder of Ouko. And I remember we used to sing, why murder, why kill him, Ouko. So that one gave us the morale now in July 1990 now to go for Mandamano. And I recall that day there was organization, because there was a fort that was meeting in Ajip House, and there was a lot of wars those times because of it. And I remember we had agreed that the big team would come, and they came in a pickup through the Land Highs and the Shaurimoyo area. Then us now, the Juakali people, we had our strategy. And we woke up very early. By 6, we were in Gekomba and Pumwani. And now the Askaris were the other side of Shaurimoyo. They had covered the ground now from the river, Shaurimoyo area. Nobody bothered about the Gekomba area. So we organized a gang. So by the time now the Shikukus were coming, the police concentrated on Land Highs. We crossed the river, and it was swollen. In July, it was swollen. So we had laid stones and made our own 2 channels. We crossed the river. We went inside Kamukuji ground, and we shouted with our 2-finger salute. And we felt satisfied that we have defied Moi, and we have been able to reach Kamukuji grounds. And I remember it was very satisfying because we were annoyed. And we were literally agitated because of the dictatorship that was there. It was pure tyranny. And I think we achieved, because after that, we never stopped. Actually, I remember from that time, we continued on street protest. And we continued and continued. We did it from 1990, we did it in 1991, until now Moi consented to multi-party repealing of Section 2A in December 1991. That's when he consented to the repealing. So it's not something we did for one day. We started with Oko in February 1990, and we continued until Section 1A or Section 2A was repealed in December 1991. And I think as a region we achieved, because after that I could meet my brothers and sisters, have a kambuzi without necessarily alerting the chief. The Kano youth wing, that strong tyranny started collapsing. The special branch stopped harassing us in hotels and bars. So that time we achieved exactly what we wanted, because we got multi-party, we got the freedom of speech, and we got the freedom of association.
And taking a look at whatever you were agitating for then and whatever is happening today, look at some of the issues that have been highlighted by the opposition leader Raila Odinga. What do you make? What stands out when you compare the two?
I would say, we have a constitution that gives us the right to picket and the right to association. And the constitution in this Kenya, currently, it is supreme. And nobody can stop people from holding meetings and picketing. All that you need to do is alert, not get a license, is alert the OCS that you shall be holding a meeting. And I think these people are genuine. The cost of living is astronomical. Things are bad. I can tell you, the big car I drive, these days I don't drive it anyway, the 3-liter engine, it used to cost me about 7,000 to go to Nairobi and back. And now it's going to, that is about 2 years ago. And now it is costing me about 12,000. So I stopped using it now. I've gone for a small car. I've gone for a fielder, at least so that I can use about 4,000 to 5,000 consumption if I'm going around Nairobi. So the situation is bad. And the cost of food, it's also high. Although we are a bit, you can thank God because he has given us rains. You can see it is chilly here. But you go to Kenya here, maize has dried up. It is not as good as it is in the lower part of Nyeri. You go to the dry areas, maize has dried up. Although they were able to harvest potatoes, they were able to harvest those short-term crops. Maize actually didn't perform well. Grass has started drying in dry areas. So, and the cost of living is just too high. Because, like we said last time, the moment you increase the cost of fuel, automatically everything shoots up. Automatically everything shoots up. And it's bad. And I've been talking even to those who are diehards, and I can see they're also getting agitated. And unless the state does something, even the so-called supporters will join in the protests very soon. In fact, I've been talking to some of them, and they're not very happy. Because this government, I think it lied too much. It promised, I don't even think you do that when you're wooing a girl. There's some level of lies you should not tell even the girl you are wooing. If you're wooing a girl or a girl is being wooed by a boy, there are some things there's some lies you don't say. Because now it looks like our people are defranchised. They have lost hope. They're just there. In fact, they don't even want to go to the streets. They are complaining quietly. They don't want to go. They are hungry. They are imagining if we go, we are going to get hungry. But the fact that you are not in demos here in Nyeri doesn't mean that it is quiet. My friend, I tell you, unless these guys do something, even the quietness you're seeing in Nyeri is going to dissipate it. Don't forget, in the 1990s, Nyeri kept quiet and the Central kept quiet until a point now. When Matiba was arrested, you remember, it was in, I think, April or May 1990, and the whole region erupted. Our region is hard hit. And it is not good. And eruption can come up anytime.
All right, thank you so much. Of course, that is Wambugu Nyamu from Nyeri here, and one of the people who participated in the 1990 Saba Saba demos. And of course, he is saying that the quietness or the failure of Nyeri not to participate in this year's demos does not mean that the people from Nyeri are happy. They are hurting from whatever that is happening in the country as far as the high cost of living is concerned. So from here, we will be heading to Karatina to see what is happening in Karatina. Remember, Karatina is the hometown of Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, and we'll be speaking to residents there to hear their views on what they think about these Saba Saba demos. Over to you, Ashley.
All right, thank you so much, Clement Masombo, for that. And of course, even as you go to Karatina, we'll keep on monitoring that situation.